And hello, everyone. Welcome to the S&S Podcast, episode 7. This is our end of year podcast, and let's get
7.
started with
Hello.
this. And here's my co-host, Salvantica.
Hello. It's Salvan. Yeah, Salvantica. Yeah, Salvantica. I'm so used to people making people like correct
Eh.
my name because everyone says Salvantica. So I'm just so used to correcting them.
Yes,
Yeah, but you said
I'm going
Salvantica,
to
so you
correct you
said it
for this.
correctly. So
I've said it correctly for 6 months. The whole time we've been doing this, I said Salvantica.
No, but I'm just used to correcting people calling me Salvantica.
Salvantica.
All right, so
So what we got here today is we're going to talk about this year's biggest stories. So obviously the insurrection was a big story. We're going to talk about the committee that's investigating it. We're going to talk about Cuomo and all that stuff and redistricting, all that stuff. So let's get right into it.
I think we should start in chronological order. So
first
I guess we're gonna start in January to now.
Yes. All right. So on January 6th, 2021, a mob of mostly Trump-supporting Republicans stormed the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., stopping the electoral vote
Electoral college votes
certification for and stopped the ratification of then President-elect Biden's certification, and the week after that, President Trump was impeached 232 to 197.
For a second time. Well, yeah, he was impeached by the House, but not impeached by the Senate. He was acquitted.
Is that? I think I'm hearing echoes from your side.
You hearing echoes? Yeah, sorry about that. If you hear talking, don't worry about it. It's no one's in my basement. Don't worry. Okay. Anyways, let's just just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it.
Just people downstairs.
Yeah. All right. So the 10 Republicans who voted to impeach were Liz Cheney, Wyoming, Jamie Herrera Butler from Washington, Dan Newhouse from Washington, Peter Meyer from Michigan, Fred Upton from Michigan, John Katko from New York, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois. I'm forgetting like 3 people. Let me go look.
Yep.
I named 7 out of my head. Let me see.
All 7.
Who did I get? All right. I almost clicked on the first impeachment of Trump instead of the second. All right.
Bruh.
Yeah, there was 10 Republicans. All right. So the 10 Republicans were, again, Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio, Tom Rice of South Carolina, and David Valadao of California.
Yeah.
There were also 4 Republicans not voting: Kay Granger of Texas, Andy Harris of Maryland, Greg Murphy of North Carolina, and Dan Webster from Florida. And obviously in the trial,
yes,
he was acquitted, but 7 Republicans voted in favor for convicting him. Those 7 Republicans were Richard Burr, who is retiring next year, Bill Cassidy, who was reelected in 2020 from Louisiana. Burr was from North Carolina. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski from Maine and Alaska. Those two were obvious, along with Mitt Romney from Utah.
Yep.
Ben Sass from Nebraska and Pat Toomey all voted acquitted. Plus the 48 Democrats, plus Angus Keenan and Bernie Sanders, the independents who voted in favor, and they are caucusing with the Democrats.
Okay. So, this is
And
a
let's
basically, and this is like one of the only there's only been one impeachment that was the closest to someone actually getting kicked out, and that was the impeachment of Andrew Johnson in way back when in 1870.
1868. No, it was
Eight,
1868.
oh yeah, okay, so 18, yeah, because it was right before the
Andrew
yeah. So
Johnson,
1868.
and it was he was one vote short of being removed. Obviously, he did not get renominated by his party, and Ulysses S. Grant became president of the United States. However,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that impeachment
He
should have
didn't
been
really want to
unconstitutional
become a
from the start
president.
because,
Yeah,
yeah, and that
it
impeachment
kind of.
should never happened in the first place because of an unconstitutional law that was overturned a couple like 20 years after.
So basically, they impeached him for
And
something
the
that you can't
article
get
of
impeached for today. So,
yes, and it was the article of impeachment was incitement of insurrection, and the cause, and it lasted the whole process lasted a month. January 13th, 2021, the day he was impeached, to his acquittal on February 13th, 2021. Before the
and
impeachment, people were calling for him to resign, and then AOC called for the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. It addresses citizen right in response. It's Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is which AOC called for Trump to be removed. It says Section 3 states that a person who participated in an insurrection after having taken an oath to support the Constitution is disqualified from holding future office unless permitted by the U.S. Congress. AOC, of course, was one of the House Democrats that supported revoking the 14th Amendment, but in a letter, Pelosi thanked her colleagues for their contributions to discussions on the 14th Amendment. If this was successful, may I add, Trump, then the former president would be ineligible for appointment to any federal office without Senate supermajority in favor. And if
yes.
Trump would
So
have been
basically,
removed
it
under
means
this, Pence Pence would have become the
Pence would have
46th
become
president of
president.
the United States, and he would have been the shortest serving president for about a week and a half, and before Biden took over.
Yep.
This is
And they
only
were, but
section this
historical.
but the 14th Amendment has only been taken a vote once. It was when stopped Victor Berger, who was convicted of the filing an espionage for his views against Wilson's military power from taking his seat in the U.S. House. It was also the first time it would be invoked on a sitting. This would have been the first time it would be invoked on a sitting president. Of course, the next was also the 25th, which obviously needed the majority of the cabinet. Trump would have been, Pence would have
Which
become acting
it would have
president.
been just
Trump,
kicked out. Yeah.
and then Trump would have just said, "I'm back," and then they would have voted again, and then it would go to Congress, and 2/3 would have needed to be removed, which was, and the impeachment. It was not close. In the House, it was not very close. In the Senate, it was 10 short of the supermajority. But yeah, that's what they need for the 25th Amendment. Of
Yeah.
course.
So basically, if for anyone who doesn't know what the basically if now for example, if Trump would have gotten either kicked out for the 25th Amendment or impeached, that means he is not able to run for public office ever again unless overturned by the Senate, like you said, which probably, if you really think about it, probably would have started an outright just riots all over the place. If you really think about it, it would have just started riots if he would have gotten either impeached or kicked out.
He was impeached. He was impeached, but the trial didn't
Well,
start
he
until
was impeached.
February 1st, I believe. Yeah. House
Yeah, because I
Resolution
remember they.
224 was the. Yeah, also voting in the United Senate. How long did the trial last? Let me see. Oh, here it is. The Wikipedia trial. The page
Yeah.
here.
But when I say impeached, I
All right.
mean when I say impeached, I mean like
You mean
being kicked out by
convicted?
vote.
Convicted.
Convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it lasts.
impeached by yeah.
Yeah, this lasted for 4 days. February 9th to February 13th was the date of 2021. That's when the trial started and ended. The managers were Jamie Raskin, the lead manager, Diana DeGette, David Cicilline, Joaquin Castro, Eric Swalwell, Ted Lieu, Joe Neguse, Madeline Dean, and Delegate Stacey Plaskett. And the Trump lawyers were, let me see here, were David Schuin, Bruce Castor, Michael Vanderven, and William J. Brennan. Oh,
Yeah. So
I
but
swear. All
yeah,
right,
so those are
so
the
I
those are
swear,
basically
Bruce Castor and Michael Vanderven. I swear they look like the same people. Like Vanderven and Castor look like the same people, but uh, obviously, the Supreme Court, John Roberts did not preside over this impeachment trial because it was a former president instead of the reigning president, serving president, because Biden was in office for a month now when this happened. And the pretrial, Rand Paul point of order to dismiss on January 26th. All right, so Rand Paul also tried to dismiss it January 26th, approximately 13 days after his impeachment. Rand Paul forced a vote to dismiss the impeachment charge on the basis that it was unconstitutional to try a past president. The motion was defeated 55-45 of all Democrats voted independents and 5 Republicans: Collins, Maine, Murkowski, Alaska, Romney, Utah, Sass, Nebraska, and Toomey, Pennsylvania. And then
okay.
Trump declined to testify. The role, and then they debated on the constitutionality of the trial. Uh, the Republican yays. Let me try to see who are the Republican yays.
Yays.
The Republican,
It's
the
so weird
yay,
to
the
like see
yays.
like yays and nays. So
All
old
right,
fashioned. Why can't they just say yes or no?
all right, all right,
Why does it have to be yay or nay?
all right. Murkowski, Collins, Stats, Toomey, Romney voted for the cost on agreeing it was constitutional, along with Chastity. Everyone who voted to convict, except for Burr, voted in favor of the constitutionality. And then Mike Lee obviously got
Okay.
motion to strike the prosecution, which they described Trump's telephone call to Tuberville. Um, Votes on subpoenas. It was obviously voted. It was 55-45, but the yays were Collins, Maine, Graham of South Carolina, Murkowski, Alaska, Romney, Utah, Sass of Nebraska. Toomey voted no, and Toomey voted no. Um, uh, Toomey voted no. Uh, Chastity voted no, and of course, Burr voted no. And Lindsey Graham was the only person who voted to acquit, who voted for witnesses. The only witness was called was Jamie Herrera Butler. After a 2-hour discussion with the approval of both parties, the GOP rep they subpoenaed Herrera Butler, but she handed over a statement. And obviously the verdict was 57-43 in favor of acquitting. Was guilty 57-43, but obviously it was acquitted because not 2/3. So that's basically the first major event of the year.
Yep.
So, Salt, any opinions on what, if any, differently the Democrats could have done to make their case to convict Trump, or do you think the Republicans could have made it a better case to try?
Oh, hold on. Okay, so here's what I do think. I think that if I think Democrats should have stressed more on that this was the first incitement of the first insurrection at the Capitol since 1814, since the War of 1812, by the British burning down Washington D.C. And also, I think what they should have done is they should have you know, but they should. I think they if the trial didn't last for only 4 days, I think they could have gotten the word out. But since it was 4 days, and since like yes, it was a 50-50. Like all they needed to do was get a few more people in there to vote for Trump to get convicted, and they would have gotten it because it was a 50-50 Senate. It obviously if it would have been 50-50, if it would have been party line, Kamala Harris would have easily voted to impeach him, but that still would have not convicted him because you still
No,
needed
no.
2/3. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, they
so
needed 17
so
Republicans
I
to
think
switch.
yeah, which is harder than you think, because people will be like, oh wait, can you just give them the facts? It's not really how it works. Yeah, they're going to try to stay on party lines so they can.
Yeah.
When it's the upcoming election, they won't seem like hypocrites. Which I don't have a bias.
Yeah.
I don't have a bias. Democrats don't have a bias to Republicans. I'm just speaking. I think just the plain truth. But at the same time, I can't be speaking the whole truth because no one can really say the whole truth because no one can fully explain in its entirety what should have happened or what could have happened. So.
All right. The next big story was a couple weeks after the impeachment. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene lost her House committee assignments, and it was not just like McCarthy didn't just strip them. It was the whole House that decided to kick her off her committees. It was all right. The House of Representatives. It was 230 to 199. 11 Republicans joining all Democrats to back the resolution. Marjorie
Yep.
Taylor Greene said, calling her a very irregular American, but she stumbled across the far right QAnon conspiracy, and obviously
She was
she
rude.
said some stupid stuff about. She said some stupid stuff about the Stoneman Douglas shooting. She did some stupid stuff about 9/11, and obviously none of it was okay.
Yeah, none of it because no one should
And
be doing what she kind of
and
did.
she also see, and then she posted an image of her holding the gun to AOC and Ilhan Omar, and obviously, and that was the final straw. So, that's all I got for
Yeah,
that topic. So, can you? What's your opinions on that?
my opinion is that I am glad that she got impeached. But I'm glad she got kicked out because that is yikes. No, like how would like other countries
She's
react
still a
to
member.
that? Yeah, but like
She's still
I think it
in.
was rightfully deserved that I think she I'm glad she got stripped. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm glad she got stripped from her position and given it, and yeah, she's still in, but like still, I don't think anyone who has that should be in Congress in general. I think they just should just not be in Congress because that's not a way to represent our country.
All right. So the next big thing came was obviously, I think the next big story was the the committee hearing, the January 6th hearing of the officers testifying, the officers who were thieves and all that by the mob. It was a very emotional testimony. It happened like a couple of weeks before we started the podcast. So, Salt, did you watch that hearing and what was your thoughts on it?
The hearing, I think I didn't really pay attention to the hearing that much. Really, I mainly just paid attention to other stuff. I think it was like in July. I think was it July? I want to say July because that's when I got back from
Yes, it
Maryland.
was July.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I had other stuff too. I was working on an album and stuff like that, so I didn't really have time to pay attention to the hearing. But you know, but so sorry about
Yeah.
that. But I think the in general, if I'll say meh. It was a meh.
All right. Since you didn't watch it, I'll just I'm gonna show you the opening statements. I'm gonna show you the opening statements.
Yep.
Uh, all right. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna just. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, I can do slides on this now. Nice. All right. So Chrome tab, and here we go. All right. Here we go. I'm trying to get the ad. I don't know what's going on here.
It's alright. It's alright. But anyways, so what
All
happened
right.
like next in the year?
I think it's Cuomo. I think it's the Cuomo thing because it happened right after the hearing. So obviously, if you don't know, in
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo's the report, in March of 2021, report came out that Andrew Cuomo.
Basically, he
A
was
report came out that
I'm
Andrew
just saying,
Cuomo uh
yeah, Andrew
committed
Cuomo basically did such
inappropriate
the
uh essay. Basically, he did some essay stuff and all that in the report.
yeah.
In Attorney General's report, it basically said that he actually did commit the acts and all that. He the State House was talking about impeaching him. They were launching an impeachment inquiry on it. Obviously, Cuomo resigned in disgrace, and he is currently. Last time I heard about
Yep.
this saga, Cuomo was indicted for unwanted touching. I think.
Yeah.
Let me see, Andrew
But okay, so there are
Cuomo.
reports. There's, there's reports saying that the DA says no charges for Cuomo for from allegations by two women.
There's another one in Albany County that said that Cuomo was. Let me see. Let me see right quick. All right. Sexual harassment allegations. Hold on.
So basically, oh, they're done,
Hey,
huh?
so I'll be right back.
Huh?
You can do the
Okay.
next thing. You can do talk about redistrict.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So basically, every year. So every year, so every year that not every year. Oh my god, what am I talking about? Every 10 years, every single person who can pay taxes um takes the census. Okay, so they're not required to take the census, but they are strongly encouraged to take the census. And this census determines how many people live in the state and how many electoral votes it should get and how many districts. And basically, um after after the 2020 census, it shows that some states will be gaining some districts and some will be losing some districts. And this is where it begins. So basically, the states that are neutral are kind of the states you haven't really heard about in recent years, as well as the states that you really as well as the states that are losing votes. So what but with one exception, I'm pretty sure. So, um, like let's start off with the gaining. So Texas, Florida, Colorado, I'm pretty sure Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and I think that's it. They will all be I think Oregon as well. They will all be gaining one or two electoral votes, with the exception of Texas, which is I'm pretty sure is getting three. Um, the the um the states are losing is a lot. There's a lot of losing, and those states are I'm pretty sure California, but I think they overturned that, so I think it's staying neutral. I know it's either staying neutral or losing a vote. And when I mean vote, I mean electoral votes. Um, I think I think it's Ohio. I know for a fact lost the vote. Michigan lost the vote. Um, I think Rhode Island lost a vote. Uh, New York lost two. I think the other ones. I think I think that's really it. Then all the states that are staying neutral are the states that we haven't really heard of. No, well, states that are don't really have a population shift in like the last 20 years. So any states I did not mention are staying neutral, and going to remain the, remain at the spots they are. Now, losing votes might seem like a big deal, but it's not really because then you get more of a say in the um electoral college when it comes to the election. Each person, if you don't know, I think a every district is for I think every 200,000 people or so, around that. So if it's not equally spliced out, then you can't really have it. So now electoral votes. Now, if you don't know, every state is legally required to have at least 3 electoral votes. So you have these states like Wyoming and you know Vermont who only have 3 electoral votes because of one House district and 2 Senates, which makes 3. So they only have 3 electoral votes. But each person gets to have more of a say in the election. So, but then you go to say like California, the one with the most electoral votes. You see them, and each person doesn't really have a more of a much of a say in the state than Wyoming, which is kind of where the electoral college flaws because California, yes, has more of a say in the electoral college, but at the same time, it is one of the states that is left leaning, so it's most likely going to vote for Democrats, and it's a big heavy spot to get those electoral votes because it has 55 or 54. So yeah, that's my brief explanation of the electoral votes thing. I'm going to the bathroom real quick.
Hey, bro, I'm back.
Hello, I'm back. Hello.
All right,
I was
so
going to the bathroom.
all right.
So I
Oh,
talked
no
about losing
need
the
to say
and all
that.
that.
It's your business. All right. Can you tell me? Can you tell me what you told the viewers?
So basically, I told
I
them
hope I
that, like,
wasn't not wrong.
that what the states that, yeah, I told the people, like, what states are losing electoral votes, what states are gaining electoral votes. I told them about how, like, each person is more represented in like a state that has like lesser amount of electoral votes than states that are gaining electoral votes, so like Texas and
Yeah.
Florida, and then
Mhm.
just along the lines of like that.
Mhm.
So, yep,
All right. So right here, I'm gonna go back to the Cuomo thing. It said on October 28th, 2021, a spokesman for the state court system announced that Cuomo would be charged with a misdemeanor sex crime in the Albany City Court.
so I think we can move on to the next
All right.
discussion. After the whole redistricting thing.
Yeah, we can go. All right. So let's go with back to redistricting because we got several maps. We got almost the whole,
Yeah.
and we're gonna just. I'm gonna share my screen. Here we go. Share screen. What redistricting looks like in every state. And we're almost done. It's almost done here. So is it loading up for you?
It is loading.
All
Yes.
right. So here we go. This is our. So here we go. This is our the current House maps. The current advantage is 126 Democrat leaning, 117 Republican leaning, 22 toss ups. Right here we got the recent maps were Michigan, Virginia, New Jersey, and California. Let's just go over here.
Yes.
Obviously, and we got news that Ohio's map is being challenged in court. So we'll go through all in
Yikes.
Texas is already being sued. So let's go through all of those states and look. Let's start in Michigan. This is the most recent map. This is the Chestnut Plan. We looked at this map back in our redistricting episode, I believe. So let's see here.
Yeah.
So obviously here in the we have a solid red. We got a couple of competitive districts. We have Michigan's 10, which is it's a new district because Andy 11 had ditched it to go over to Michigan 11 where he'll be facing Haley Stevens. Oh, we have Brenda Warren's 40. We have Deb, a very good over here, Michigan 8th. This barely shifted, but it's a Republican +1 instead of Democrat +1. It shifted 2 percentage points to the right. Alyssa Slotkin's district shifted 2 percentage points to the left, as it was a R+6
Huh?
district before. We had District 3, Peter Meyer. His district became a D+3, and his old in the map. This map, District 3, Peter Myers' district is R+9. Obviously, we got Bill
Mhm.
Hozinga and Fred Upton in the same district. So we got because obviously we got in there. We lost the district, so obviously an incumbent versus incumbent might have happened. What's going to happen? And obviously Tim Wahlberg's district, so the whole border of Indiana and Ohio here. So thoughts on this district? These maps. Thoughts on this map? I believe this is a pretty fair map. Like it's not as bad as the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
map, but this is a pretty fair map, honestly.
Yeah. 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 I'll say so. I'll say so.
Yeah, most of these like Michigan's fourth, seventh, eighth, third, 10th, they're all going to be competitive in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we're going to be looking at California because we're going to look at New Jersey because that map came out in Virginia, then California. Then we're going to look at the maps that are being challenged in court. Here in New Jersey, Democrats gained ground here. Obviously, this is the old map. We had swing districts in the north, like right here, and we had all solid red districts down here in the south, like so. And we had a pretty. So this is the new map. We have Goffmeyer with Democrats gained 7 points here. Mikey Sherrill, the Democrats gained 10 points there. And here in third, Democrats gained. Oh, that was a 14-point swing. Andy Kim +9. It was it was D +4 or R +5. It's now D +9. But the good news for Republicans, they gained ground in Jeff Van Du's district. It's R +9. It was Republican +7. And in Chris Smith's district, it's R +28. It was originally Republican +15. But the bad news for Democrats, Malinowski's district went from D +4 to R +3. So Salt, I believe this is pretty fair despite what it looks like. Can we get your opinion?
Yeah.
Both
Yeah, I think it
parties
looks pretty.
gained ground.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty fair. Yeah. Both parties gained
ground in the seat. All right, so our next district map is Virginia, which just approved today. So it looks pretty like the old map, but the fifth is R +14. It was Republican +13, so the Republicans barely gained ground there. Virginia's first, it's Republican +14. It was Republican +11. And obviously, Virginia's second, this was a swing district for years. This is Republican +6. Now it's Republican +2 in the current map. So Republicans gained ground there. But good news for Democrats, Wexton's district was lost. Oh, Republicans gained ground in that district. But the good news for Democrats was this district, Virginia 7, Spanberger's district. It went from R +5 to Democrat +2. So, can I get your opinion on this map?
I think it's good for both parties. As you know, Democrats got the same area where they usually get as metropolitan DC, but then the Republicans got a bunch of other like land as well, like a bunch of other seats because of just a bunch of other ground. So yeah, I think it's good for both parties.
Yeah, because this was this was Norfolk suburbs here of basically all suburbs. Now they just brought in right counties around, they just got Bobby Scott and Donald McEachin into very solid districts. McEachin this was a Republican district before 2016. This was Republican district before 18. Obviously, same with the 7th. But this was a Republican. As you remember, this district obviously was Republican for many years before it shifted a bunch. But this new map seems like it is going to be good for both parties. Well, obviously lost the 7th and the 2nd, obviously, because they're going to be races to watch. Now, let's go over to California because Democrats gained pretty much a lot of ground there.
Yeah.
Let's see, where does it say? It says neither party gained ground, but honestly, Democrats did gain ground there. So let's go over to California. We're still waiting on maps from Connecticut, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, and Kansas. All right, here we go. Here is our current map. So here's our new map. And obviously, this district, Louise, his district, All right, so as you know, California is losing a district. Juan Vargas' district and Raul Lee's district became one. It looks like so. Uh, their ISA's district became more solid. California, that used to be the 50th district, where it was R plus 14. ISA became pretty much safe. This district, King Calvert's district,
Yep.
it's R plus 7. It's going to be a swing. It was Republican plus 13, so it got bluer. Kevin McCarthy's district, the 20th.
Yes.
This is, it got very much red. Uh, this is the 5th district. Would be what Devin Nunez's district is. He is obviously resigning in 2 days to go serve as Trump's media director. Former President Trump's media director.
Yep.
Fresno, Jim Costa's district. We got Josh Hardigan, bluer. David Valdea's district got bluer. Uh, Mike Garcia's district got bluer. All right, let's go now to Let's go back to down here to L.A. County,
No.
Orange County. We
God, look at
got
LA.
Young
Jesus
Kim's
Christ.
district. It got, but look at this, Young Kim's district. This was that her old district right here for the 39th. It's the 40th now, and she got all of this, most of the red part of Orange County. Michelle Steele's district got plus Democrat plus 5. That's just her old district. She got screwed there. Katie Porter's district got shifted to coast. Plus got what it got much bluer there. Down here, this is Mike Levin's district. It was Democrat plus 7. It's now Democrat plus 5. But other than that, this is looking pretty good for the Democrats in California. What do you believe? What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, even if
In
there was only like, even if there was like 100 districts in California and they're all in LA County, I think I personally believe that Democrats will always come out on top at LA County because let's be honest here, that is probably one of the most
yeah.
democratic counties in the whole nation. So, so all I can really say is like,
All
good for the
right.
Democrats. Yeah,
All right. So, change from old maps. Democrats apparently are gaining ground. They got 6 more leaning seats. Republicans lost a leaning seat, and we lost 4 highly competitive seats. So it looks like each party got pretty much equal ground so far in this cycle.
yeah,
Obviously, we had the horrible maps in Illinois, Ohio, and Texas, which Texas and Ohio are being challenged. Let's go look at. But we also got Georgia, which is being approved when the new year starts. But these states gotta get Kentucky. Their deadline is next week. Missouri's deadline is February 22nd. Kansas' deadline is all the way in
yeah.
June, and Louisiana is July. And Connecticut's all up here.
Jesus Christ.
It's all the way past. It passed 8 days ago. And I heard it's going to go to a court. Yeah, the Connecticut failed to agree to the congressional map by December. The Connecticut Supreme Court will now appoint a special master. So it's in court right now in Connecticut. And Kentucky, they got to get it through. It's next week. But other than that, that's our redistrict map. But great news. But guess what? With that redistricting almost mostly done, we finally let's go over. Oh shoot.
Mm, we have
We
like one more
finally
thing to really talk
got.
about in 2021.
Yeah, we got the elections, but since the redistricting is mostly done, let me just share my screen. My Chrome tab. We finally got an interactive map for next year's House elections because
Yay. Oh,
obviously
shit.
this is 270 to win. Are you good over there?
Yeah. I just dropped my phone.
Wow. But yeah, we got. Are you doing the? Are you looking at our org right now?
No, I'm checking Twitter. I'm just checking Twitter right now. Yeah. So now we have an interactive
All right.
house map. Yay.
This is only on 270 to win, but oh, all right. So the consensus is. Oh, Tom O'Halloran looks screwed by this consensus. Look, but this is our interactive map. It's looking pretty nice. We got New Jersey, Maryland. We don't have. Let's reset the map to see our initial ratings. We have not got Michigan yet, but should be here tomorrow. But we we should get Michigan and Virginia tomorrow, I believe. Oh.
Yes.
Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, here we go. We got the ratings. And looking at this, we got pretty solid. And looking at this, Goff Malinowski looks pretty screwed by initial ratings. They say he's likely to lose re-election. The rest are pretty much
Yes.
safe. We got
Yeah.
um looks like we got Gonzalez, Marcy Captor looks screwed. Ohio won your district. So it's like his lean R right now.
Ooh.
Obviously, this is we
Yeah,
got
Steve Chabot.
Iowa.
So
It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for Iowa right now. We do. Oh, it's looking pretty good for New Mexico Democrats. We also got Maine. We got Golden, obviously running for re-election for a third term. But California is looking pretty solid for the Democrats right now. We got Michelle Steele, Katie Porter's lean, Josh Harder's likely. It's pretty much going to be a very hectic season, and it's only coming very soon because next in March is when our first primaries is going to happen. And hopefully me and you will be
yes.
able to cover those primaries because it's it's going to be pretty interesting to say the least. See how well
Yes.
like what's going to happen
Yeah.
with the maps going forward and all that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
finally, let's talk about
Yep.
this 2021 elections. Virginia flipped, the House of Delegates flipped, and so can we did not have this deep discussion since election night. So let me just give Virginia governor
Yeah.
race. All right, I'm gonna. Wait, hold up. Where is the New York Times map? Oh, we'll just look at the CNN one because I cannot find the New York Times map.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Youngkin obviously won because of the. Here we
Yep.
go. Let me just share the map. Here we go. So here's. The Republicans also swept the Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General too. You know, it was much more closer in Virginia Gov. It looked like McAuliffe might have come back, but no, he lost by 2 points. It looked like he might have come McAuliffe won by
Oof.
McAuliffe by 2.5 last time he ran in 2013.
Hmm.
Before looking 1 in the past were 2 5. That's 5.
Okay.
But can
Nope. A lot.
you've had Virginia. So, in what do you think happened in Virginia that made the Democrats lose?
I think in Virginia, I just genuinely think that also I don't live in Virginia. I live in Ohio. I've
Yeah,
been to Virginia. I don't know if that really is relevant, but I think that if I honestly I think the Democrats should have I guess should have been going to more of
not
the
talk about Trump.
rural parts of Virginia. I know, but like I think the
I I honestly
I
I
yeah,
honestly
I'm
think that what happened. I honestly believe that they lost because of not the big turnouts in the suburbs like they used to. Like they went big in the suburbs in
yeah.
2017 when not Northam was elected. They won big in 18 when they flipped Virginia 10, Virginia 7 and 2, and they won. Tim Kaine
Yep.
won by like 20 points, and then it happened in 2020 when Biden won by 10.
Yeah.
So I honestly believe that
So I
stubborn
think
turnout was
they
bad
needed
for
to
Democrats.
yeah.
All right, so
So yeah. But
that's
I
all the
think
news
that's
stories we covered.
really
Like
it,
we
right?
covered the big, yeah, uh we covered uh insurrection and impeachment of Trump. We covered uh MTG losing her committee spots. We talk about Cuomo. We talk about redistricting. We talked about the 2021 elections. So so before we
Yeah.
go, your reflections
Yes.
on this year and what do you believe is so what's your reflections for the year?
I think my reflections is that 2021 was not like 2020. It wasn't as bad as 2020. I think that in this time we will hopefully get better as a nation. Hopefully we're not going to be as divided as we are today. Um Hopefully the the Republicans and the Democrats can all come together and hopefully be one be one nation like they always keep saying. Like well, but that is a fever
Mm-hmm.
dream that most likely won't happen in 2022 because of all the political division. But it's
Mm-hmm.
still something that we can wish for. So yeah.
Yeah, my reflections is we definitely were close to civil war this year. If we were any
Yeah.
close to civil war, we were when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol and caused
Yeah.
so much damage, and we were on the barrel to a civil war. That hadn't happened in years, and luckily we have come past that. We passed Biden passed a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Biden obviously got a COVID relief to many Americans, and obviously the vaccine efforts are stalling. But all of that just of is being overshadowed by what's happening with Trump and the how divided the Republican Party was. Like, stop it. We need to we need to focus on what's happening in the world right now. Like Russia, we could be going to war soon with Russia.
Yeah.
We could be
Yeah.
we could be facing a huge crisis soon, and we still are facing COVID. Like, we gotta get the vaccination issue. Shut about Trump. We know he is probably one of the worst presidents ever for having a mob storm the Capitol. But just shut up about
Well,
Trump. Shut about
yeah.
how Biden's how shut about Trump. Like, we need to focus on trying to protect our ass from Russia, and we gotta stop COVID. We gotta get vaccine efforts up. We need to do all of that. Just shut up about Trump and how Biden is like, and socialism and communism. Like, shut up. Just get together. Just give people COVID relief. Cancel student loan debt, and we gotta gotta stick together and improve our relations with NATO. That's my reflections. Like, we need to get back, stop talking about Trump every 10 minutes, 20, like every 5 seconds. Like,
Also stop.
we need to get
Before we end off, get the vaccine. Like, it's not that hard. It is most places.
yes,
It's
yeah,
relatively free.
get
If
back.
it's not free, it costs a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah, you
like,
can
and what sucks is that
also
with politics,
also.
it's just like, you know, like, it's
It's just like mass.
divided
Like,
because, like,
stop
Republicans
griping
don't like it.
about.
Yeah,
Like, stop making putting politics into your own health. Like, don't grab about, oh, we gotta wear a mask.
yeah,
Like, shut up. Take your own health. And
yeah.
if you
It's
get
only
COVID, you get
temporary. It's
COVID,
only
and like, yes,
yeah, and also
like,
there are
get
reports. There are
vaccinated, get
reports saying
boosted.
that people who are not wearing, yeah, and people who are not wearing masks or not getting vaccinated, are actually getting COVID. And yes, there are people who got the vaccine and are getting COVID, but those people,
It's
they're
not
probably going to
bad.
a big crowd with that. Yeah, and like COVID, eventually, it's just going to be another sickness like the flu. Like back then, the 20s, the flu
Yeah,
was out of this world, and everyone thought the world was going to end because it was one of the deadliest pandemics since the Black Death. And now it's just a minor sickness that, yes, it does kill people. Every sickness kills people,
yeah.
but yeah.
Hmm.
So eventually, in 30s, maybe 40s, COVID is just going to be like, oh, remember COVID? Oh yeah, I got it yesterday. Not that big of a deal. I'm recovered from it now. It's just going to be like that. And but for now, we
Yeah.
have to do
No
this
one's probably in
so
like
we
30,
can.
40 years. In like 30 to 40 years,
Yeah.
people are going to be like, oh, did you get COVID, or did you get the flu, or did you get strep? Like, it's going to be a normal thing with if the vaccines uh are going to be necessary to keep this world from getting sick and dying. Like, if you're an
Yeah.
anti-vaxxer, you're honestly the dumbest person in the world. That's the thing. Like, you're
Yeah.
the dumbest person in the world if you believe if flat Earth exists. If you don't like vaccines, you are probably the dumbest group of people in the world if you believe that. That's my honest opinion. That is my only opinion. I'm stating this in this thing because I'm trying to be as non biased as possible while we do this. Like, honestly, like when we do like coverage, like we try to be not as biased. Like, unless like
Yeah.
it's clear that like we try not to state our actual opinions. Like, we just talk about the news and not put an opinion on it unless it's really necessary.
We give.
But
Yeah,
get vaccinated,
yeah,
get
it's not like Fox News or something like that. It's not. It's not like one. It's not
It's
like
not MSNBC or
one American
OAN.
News. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're not
yeah, but I
like
think
that.
that's where we're
We're
gonna end it
just
off for
gonna be
today.
try.
And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
I think that's
We'll
gonna be
end
the
it off
last
there
podcast
for
for
today.
2021.
Yeah, we'll see you
Last
guys
podcast
back
of
here in January
2021,
for
which
our
is
new edition, and then
2022.
we'll see you guys. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the primaries.
Later.
Thank you guys so
All
much
right.
for
See you guys.
listening to us this year. It's been see you guys. And that's it full screen.